I know, they're beautiful, and we've got a bunch of them. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today is Cast Iron Wednesday, and we had a little rooster problem. We had too many. And so today, my wife and I cut a bunch of limbs up from the trees we had cut down. And we started a big fire, and we burned a bunch of limbs. We cut up a bunch of firewood, and we killed 5 roosters. And so what I have here is a couple of little banty roosters. Let me show them to you. There we've got them. They're just in a Ziploc baggie. I've had them marinating all day, and 11 herbs and spices. Hopefully they're a little better than KFC, but what we did was we skinned them. These are small birds. We didn't take the time to heat up water and pluck them. So we cut the wings off because the birds are small. So basically we got 2 thighs, 2 drumsticks, and a breast on each one. And we're going to cook these on the coals in a Dutch oven. So I'm going to wrap them in foil. Since we skinned the birds, we got rid of that protective layer of skin and a lot of the fat. So foil is your friend. These roosters are over a year old, so they're going to need some time. So let me wrap them up in foil. And, I was going to show you this. Who's that fine looking young boy in the heart-shaped? Yes. That young fellow was me. That's probably kindergarten, judging by the size of that pencil that I'm writing with. Anyways, let me get these wrapped up, and then we'll go out and look at the fire. Alright, I like to double wrap. So, that means you take one piece down and lay it like that. You take another one down and you lay it like that. Pull out our chicken here, the star of the show. The reason I double wrap is because sometimes you get sharp bones here and they'll poke through a sack if you're marinating, but they'll also poke through foil. As far as spices go, there's parsley, there's rosemary, there's thyme, there's some cayenne pepper. I put oil on there just to kind of move all the seasoning around and get it on the meat. And I let it set in the fridge for about, 5 hours. So, let's wrap it up. Now I know those 2 sharp leg bones are right here, so I'm going to kind of make me a little leg bone shield and fold that around. Now I don't have to worry so much about this one. That'll set on one side of my Dutch oven. Let's do the second one. These 2 will fit in the Dutch oven. Let's see. Oh, we need a trivet. I can also make that out of foil. One big long piece of foil. Let's get a little Harold here watching. I thought that was hilarious. Now, I'll make me a trivet. Now what that'll do is that'll keep my meat from sitting right on the bottom of my Dutch oven and burning. Alright, there's my number 12 Lodge Dutch oven. As you can see, I got 1 chicken here, 1 chicken here. You can see the trivet just kind of snakes around. Alright, there's our Dutch oven. I just raked out some coals, set it on bottom, set it on top. I didn't preheat it. As the old folks used to say, it's hotter than Dick's hat band. I never knew Dick and I never knew his hat band, but I know that's pretty hot. So I'll let that go probably for an hour or so. I'll probably come out in 30 minutes and spin it around. Alright, the chicken's been cooking a while. We've got some, I don't know, some kind of Yukon Gold type potatoes. And I just put them in a sack like I did the chicken and coated them in oil. I threw in a couple purple onions, kind of a marinade mix. I want to show you something. When it comes to marinating food, this right here is hard to beat. Let me get cleaned up. This right here, Goya. I know the guy came out and supported Trump, the CEO of the company, and people are talking about boycotting him, but this adobo all-purpose seasoning is amazing. So if you want to support a guy that supports Trump and the world hates, I would go out and buy a bottle of this. No kidding. I put it on everything. I've already put it on the potatoes, but it is so good, I'll put it on again. Let's just set this on the coals and let it cook. Got my little grubbing, I call it a grubbing hole. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of, I got it at a yard sale for $1. But it works good for doing this kind of stuff. Now I don't know how hot it is right there in that big pile of coals, but I know it's hot. Because it's burning my legs just to be here next to it. I can already hear oil sizzling in there. Let's let that go for about 20 minutes. Alright, well, I got the fire going and I just got coals here and logs here. I also have a bunch of these peppers. And we're growing these at the school garden in our little plot that they gave us and said, hey, if you want to stick some plants in there, go ahead. So we just grabbed some peppers at the greenhouse. I just bought plants. I don't have any idea what these are. Some kind of hot pepper. So what I like to do is take them. You know, I'm just not one to sit here and cut up a big old green chili. So I've raked out some coals there. Well, let's just do it this way. There. Now, I've got those raked out there. And it's hot. And those coals are hot. I just raked them out. And I'm going to let them things lay there until they get black. And then what you can do with fire roasted peppers is they get sweeter, they maintain their heat, but you add this whole smoky charcoal element to things. So I'm going to rake them around with my little grubbing hole, and I'll turn you back on when they're about ready. Well, everybody's level of doneness is a little different, and none of them all cook at the same rate. Some are a little done on one side, maybe underdone on the other. But as you can see, I think that one there's ready. So I'm going to take it over here and drop it in my pan. Matter of fact, I think this one here's ready as well. So I'm going to use my little grubbing hole. This thing kind of works pretty good. You can never get the hang of it. I'll take it over here and you get the idea. Fire roasted peppers. I'm going to turn you off and get them out of there. There's a full packet of the taters. Of course, you get some that are toasty on top. Look how soft. Wow, that's perfect. I could sit there and eat that. All right, let's have a look at this chicken. Let's have a look at this yard bird. That's Pretty tender for an old rooster. Of course, that dark meat is really dark on a yard bird. There's our fire roasted peppers. I ran them under the water. I ran them just under the faucet to knock any ashes that were on them off. And then I put them in a pan. I put foil over the pan so they kind of steamed. And man, they smell good. Let me put a plate together. Alright, I got some yellow and purple tomatoes right here, so put a little salt on those. I like a little pepper on my tomatoes as well. Alright, Diet Dr. Pepper out of the can, because we're men. Cleanse my palate. First thing I want to try is a little bit of this purple onion and potato. That potato was properly cooked. It is mush, but it still looks like the chunk that my wife cut it in. That's good, isn't it? Have you tried the potato yet? Wow, that's good. Alright, how about a little white meat? I'm not big on white meat, but there's not much on a banty rooster, and it gets tough the older they get. This one's at least a year old, but we cooked it for about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. It's not real tough. It's got texture to it, but it's not chewy, stringy tough. A little dark meat. That's good. Look at that. Right out the garden. When you cut these peppers like this, you got the hard outer crust that you could rake off, but I tend to keep it on there. Some of it I rake off, some of it I keep. Gives a little bit of heat to those potatoes. That's great. Hey, I'm gonna turn y'all off and get back to the business of eating. This is too good to sit here and talk about. It's time to just eat it. Thanks for coming along on a Cast Iron Wednesday.